Hello everybody and welcome back to episode number 12 in our All of Fabric modded Minecraft series. We are going to focus on getting all of the things we need for tools, weapons, and armor in this episode. We're starting out with getting the basics for Hephaestus set up. Hephaestus is the fabric port of Tinker's Construct, and it looks very, very similar to the latest version of Tinker's Construct, but what I'd like to start off with is getting all the books from Tinker's or Hephaestus. I'm going to probably keep going back and forth calling it one or the other because I've used Tinker's Construct for many years. It'll be difficult for me to change the name, but that's fine. So in the last episode, I did run a crafting terminal over here so that we can use it to craft some things, which will make this a lot easier. I've bookmarked a lot of the things that we need just based on my own knowledge, but we're going to start with these books. The first one is Materials and You, and then we have our puny smelting, which needs some grout. I think I should have enough materials to make. Throw some grout into our system. Then the next book that we need is called Mighty Smelting. So for that, we actually need to take some seared stone and pour it over a book. Seared stone is made using a melter, and we can melt seared bricks or elements made of seared bricks or grout in the melter. Yeah, okay, so we need to get a little bit more grout. In order to make this specifically, we just need to get one brick, but we're going to be using a good bit of seared bricks. So while we're here, we're going to try to make a good chunk of grout. Let's make 2 stacks of it. A stack and a half, that's what we have enough for. So we can take that off of our list. And we need to grab a book. I did set up a melter while I was working on the building here because I needed more gold for increasing our power for our crafting terminal. So the way the melter is just a very simplified version of the smeltery that we'll be building later on. But so there's a couple different parts. There's a seared heater, which is down here at the bottom. You put any kind of fuel in it, it heats up the system on the top, and you can see that you can access the inventory, the one on the bottom, from here. So it's all in one interface. Anything we throw in here gets melted by the heat from the fuel. So you can use it to do some of the lower temperature smeltery items. So it's kind of like a start out thing. So now we've got 1 block of seared stone in there. In order to make this book into what we need, we just need to put the book on our casting table and poured the seared brick over top of it. And there we go. I also made an ingot cast last time by just pouring gold over a brick. And that means that we can pour out ingots using that. And then this is our casting basin, which means if we have enough in here for a block, we can pour it in here and it will cast us a block, which is pretty fancy. That means we have enough left in here for 1 more brick. I do really like how the animations take the time and slowly change into the item. This makes the whole thing seem much more. Well, I guess that wasn't enough for a block. I must have misread that. It's okay, we'll put more in. We're going to end up making a lot of these seared stone for us to make the larger version of the smeltery coming up, so it's fine if we have extra in there. So you can also take the grout and cook it in a regular furnace, and it turns into seared brick, which is what I use to make the melter. And then the bricks that you get from the grout can be used to craft the seared bricks that we need for the larger components. We have all the different things that we can make with them in here, but you can craft them to make all the parts. And then if you just do a 4x4 or 2x2, I mean, you get seared bricks, which is the basic part of building the smeltery. But we'll get into that as we get there. So we now have the Mighty Smelting Book, the Tinker's Gadgetry Book. We'll need a slime ball. I don't know if I have any right now, but first we need to craft another book. I should have plenty of leather, so we'll do it that way. I'm gonna actually make a couple of these just to have them in the system. So Tinker's Gadgetry. Okay, so we do not have the sky slime ball, and it needs to be a sky slime ball, it looks like. So to get the sky slime ball, we're probably going to have to get a drop from congealed sky slime or slimy leaves. So that's something that'll have to stay on our list until we get there. Fantastic Foundry uses nether grout, which means we're going to have to get some magma cream, which can be made with blaze powder and slime balls. So that's something we'll have to get today too. And then our encyclopedia of smeltery or of tinkering is just a book with molten gold. So let's grab another book, and then we need to grab some gold if we have any left. We don't have any in there, but I think I have some that I put in here. That's excellent. I'm just using my backpack as a storage for miscellaneous things as we go. Okay, so we have one block. Pour it out. Oh, I see. It said one brick, and I was thinking that meant one block. It's actually, when it says 3 bricks, it means 3 in here. So let's put one more and see how much that changes, just so we know. I think each of these makes 2 bricks, so you would need 2 grout to make a block. And that's correct, because it took 3, and now we have 1 block and 1 brick, which is basically 5. So each grout turns into 2 bricks or half a block. So we'll wait for this to be ready to come out. Takes a few seconds. May have to look and see if I can get a progress meter on our in-game UI. I know that you can add that. I don't have it added. And then we have 1 brick, so we can get this emptied out. One of the downsides to the seared melter is that you can only do 1 type of element at a time, so we have to empty it before we can use it. So we're going to throw gold in there. I think we need 2 bricks. We might only need 1, which is fine. If we have an extra one, we'll just recast it back out. There's 2 ingots, so we pour that over the book. Yeah, it was just 1 that we needed. It's fine, not a big deal. And we can pour that back out. I always find it funny casting gold into a gold cast. Don't think that would work so well in real life. So we have all the books that we need. These are great for in-game resources to teach you all the things you need to know. So Materials and You introduces you to all the different things you need to get started. So we're going to look through here to make our first set of tinkering tables. So first you need to make a pattern. You use the pattern to make part builders. The Tinker Station is also made with patterns and oak planks. And then we have a part chest and Tinker's chest. And then it gives you all the different information about all the different materials, all the different tools that you can make. And then it gets into the Traveler's Gear. So Traveler's Gear is something that's been in the game, but I haven't used much. So I'd like to get it made. It's not the best armor in the game, but it's something that, at least something to start with. And it does some interesting stuff. It provides some special abilities. So we're going to get the things we need to make that. Mammoth fur. Interesting. So we need leather, we need glass, and we need copper. All things that we have for all the different ones. So we'll get all that together and we'll craft the Traveler's Gear. and then it gives us some information about modifiers, and then it goes into the next set of books. So this just tells us the books that we need to craft, which some of them we already did, and that's how we progress further. So I have a manual chest here. So let's open this up. We're going to put all these away. We made this one, so we'll take it off of our list. Guess I have to not be inside a bag when I do that. So we still want to make those two, and we're going to get started on making the Tinker's stations, following the recipes we saw in the book. And we'll also get together the things we need to make the Traveler's Gear so we can mess around with that. Traveler's Gear complete. Tinker's setup complete. One thing I do want to check real quick is I have not looked at our quest book in a while. So let's see, do we have a specific one for Tinker's Constructor, Hephaestus? We may not, because it just got added into the pack in the last update, so they may not have added a chapter for it. There is tools and armor. That's enchanting. This is different types of armor. So no, it doesn't look like I have anything specifically for Hephaestus as of yet. They may add that in later, but that's okay. We'll go through and look at that stuff a little bit more later. Definitely going to check out this tab a little more to see some of our more advanced options later on here. But let's get this stuff going. So first we're just going to put on our Traveler's Gear. There are upgrades we can do to it that we don't have yet. But as far as armor, it gives us about half armor. It's a little more than leather armor. Has some copper in it, and it looks pretty neat. The goggles with the leather mixed into the copper mixed into the leather. I'm a fan. So let's work on putting this station down. We're going to put it in this room. I think that right underneath this window, under the stairs, is the best place for it. So the first thing we're going to do is put down the crafting station. And for anyone who hasn't used Tinkers before, when you put all the objects down, they work as a multi-block. Actually, let's take the Tinker's chest, put that on the other end, see if that'll work. I did make all of these out of oak and stripped oak to make them kind of match, but you can make these stations out of any kind of wood you want if you want to decorate your building differently. But since I had oak and spruce, I thought this was the best mix of legs and stuff for the tables. The tops of the tables look the same no matter what material you make them from. But okay, so the way it works is that this is all a multi-block structure, so whichever one you click on. So I access the chest here. I could also come down and access the part builder. It shows you the one that you access, but it shows you up at the top tabs where you can switch back and forth between them. So in this version of Tinkers, instead of having different stencils that you make and then keep in the table, you just put in a pattern and then select what you want. So we're going to start by making a pick head. To do it, you need to have the material to make it with. So we're just going to make a wooden one just to try it out, which means that we need planks to work with here. So let me see, do I have any in my bag? I don't. Do we have any oak? Very low on wood in general. We'll just take this oak wood and turn it into planks. And we can do the same with the stripped oak. We'll get more of that in a little while. That's much more than we need, but that's fine. So the way it works is you put in a blank pattern, you put in material, and then you select the part you want to make. So we'll just make a pick head for now. Let me look at the Tinker Station. So if we want to make a pickaxe, it will show you here the components you need are a pick head, a tool handle, and a tool binding. Just to demonstrate them, we're going to make all of those parts out of wood. You can see over here all the modifiers for the information that you're looking at if you use oak wood, and if you put other materials in there, you would see the different stats, so you can try to change them out in the table and see. And then you can, of course, also, let me pull that back out. Should have left this out while we were working with it, but that's all right. You can also go through your materials in U-Book and find the materials that you are using and look at the modifiers that way. So there's lots of different ways to take a look at it. Like there's wood, then there's a rock type, there's flint types, bone types, copper, leather, so forth. Those are the basic types before you get into smeltering. So once you have all the parts that you need for the pick, for example, you put them in, and then you're able to get a pickaxe. Now, if we look at this, it doesn't have very high durability. It has cultivated 3, which is because of the materials that we used. Let's see if I can put this back in here to take a look at it more detailed. Let's look at it this way. Cultivated is a stat that grows more material when repairing. So when you repair it, it's cheaper, and it also, I think you can make it so that it can repair itself. The other stats that are on here are, where is my pick now? We have piercing 1, which is damage that it does. And those things can be changed, but if we look under shift for stats, we can see that there are 3 upgrades available, and it shows us our mining speed, our attack speed, and the harvest tier. So it's only wood tier, which means we can't mine a lot of stuff with it. But what's very interesting about the Tinker's tools is that, first of all, they can be repaired. So let me go mine something with this so we can demonstrate that. We'll just go take a chunk out of our ever-shrinking hill over here that we're working on terraforming. But so you can see that this pick is basically just a wooden pickaxe. It's slow, you can break stone with it, but it's not the best. But what's interesting is once this tool is damaged, it won't break, it'll just go into a broken state. We're not going to get all the way to that. But when you come back to the table, if you look at it, it has the durability, and then when you add in the material that is needed to repair it, you can repair it all the way back to full. The other thing that's interesting, if I can grab some stone, we'll just do cobblestone or stone. Either one would be fine. I actually had some in my inventory. I was prepared this time, I just forgot. So now if we go to pick and we take out the wood and put in stone, we can see that instead of the cultivated stat, we get stone bound, which means it wears faster as it wears out, but does less damage. So the more broken the tool is, the less attack damage it does, but the faster it will mine, which is an interesting trait. But we can also see that we get a modifier for our mining speed, our attack speed, and our durability. So with Tinker's tools, instead of just being set that this is a wooden pickaxe once we make it, if instead of repairing it, we put in a new pickaxe head, we now get a change to our durability, a change to our stats. So we can compare these two. Instead of cultivated 3, since we're only using 2 pieces of wood in the new tool, it goes to cultivated 2, and we get stonebound 1 for the stone pickaxe head. But the durability goes up to 130, and then when we look at the stats, our mining speed has gone from 2 to 4, our attack speed has stayed the same, our damage has gone up with the stone pick, and we still have those 3 upgrade slots that we can use. So now if we take the stone pickaxe and we go back out and we mine with it, we'll see that it's mining twice as fast, and it will last about twice as long because it has the higher durability of a stone pickaxe head. So all the different parts can be made from different things and can be swapped out whenever we want. We will need to repair the tool in order to swap it. Sometimes there's some scenarios where that's the case, but the tool will never break. And I'm not sure about with this version of the mod, but typically, even if you drop them on the ground, they won't despawn. So if you're carrying them, you will not lose them. Last thing I want to check, and I'm not sure if this works with this setup, but it has in the past, is if we take a single diamond and we add it to it. Oops, wrong table. Then we get harvest here diamond. So for 1 diamond, we get diamond on it. And then we'll be able to mine diamond level. And you can see the durability has jumped up quite a bit. The mining speed has jumped up. And all the other stats have changed just slightly because of that diamond. And that diamond took one of our upgrade slots. So now we have a diamond pick. And what's interesting about this as far as a diamond pick goes is it's a lot less durability than a regular diamond pick. But when I want to repair this pick, I can use the stone to repair it instead of the diamond. So basically we now have a diamond pick that can be repaired using stone. And it's slow, but we can change that pickaxe head out as we go forward. And if we look at all the pickaxe heads that are available, we can make them out of lots of different materials, and they all have different stats and different things that they change, so we can try things out. Our goal today is I want to get a smeltery up so that we can make either a copper or an iron pickaxe head, I believe, is what we want. We want the higher durability. Oh, the iron is much higher. But so what we're looking for is something with really high durability, because the diamond will stay there and modify it just as much. We just want something really high. We could even go and get cobalt for it from the nether, because we do have access to that. So we may make some decisions with that. But we also have lots of other things we can make in here. We can make axes and we can make weapons, all inside the Tinker Station. So that's what this is all used for. We've done a bit more playing around, learning how different things work, figuring out how to set up the smeltery in this version. And I want to get into doing all of it and making it more advanced and getting into the later stuff. But I also realized that I'm about 25 minutes into this episode. So I'm going to break it into 2. We're going to spend the entire next time working with the smeltery, doing some nether exploration to get some materials, doing some other exploration to get everything set up, and then we will get all of our advanced armor and tools and weapons from Tinker in the next, from Hephaestus. Like I said, I knew I was going to mix the 2 names up. Not a big deal. But we'll do that in the next episode, and we'll make that into a big nether adventure, hopefully. And I hope you guys will enjoy that. I think I need to spend some time also figuring out exactly how I want to put all these things in the building. I know I want to put the smeltery like right here somewhere so I can make a chimney for it, but I got to figure that all out. So I'll do that in between and come up with a plan, and we can build the the smeltery together to make it fit into the aesthetics of the building. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.